we have to remember two of the greatest lessons that I learned in my life. And I'll share this with you and with your listeners because these are powerful lessons. I learned these earlier on in my police career, which helped make me successful and get all the jobs and help so many people. Here it is. Number one, we are more similar than we are different. We all laugh, love, and bleed in the same way. We may have different skin color, different religions, have been born in different places, but we all have the same experiences, different experiences, but the same mind. Kind of like we have people that we love, we have things that we want to accomplish, we have fears, we have whatever. So we think very much alike because we're human. It's just so to understand that we are more similar than we are different means when I'm talking to you, Jason, I'm talking to someone very similar to me. So I know that you're struggling with something. I know that, you live alone. I live alone. I, it's the same thing. I feel good when I go out and somebody engages in conversation with me. So yeah, I know that you're more similar to me than you are different. And so I can then really put myself in your shoes. For example, um, when I used to work in the special victims unit, dealing with people who were sexually abused, sexually assaulted, raped, or whatever, and I would walk in to talk to them, I understood that they were just like me. So I would ask myself, what would I feel like having a male detective walking into the room to ask me about this horrific event, this thing that happened to me, this brutal attack? How would I feel if I were that person in those shoes? And so I would walk in without judgment and with a low voice, that kind of stuff, and say, I'm here to help, that kind of thing. So I would engage by imagining what it would be like to be them. And so we are more similar than we are different was one of the biggest lessons that I ever learned. So if you're struggling with something, imagine everybody out there struggling with something. And if we're there to offer a kind word or to ask, hey, how are you living? Not how are you doing? How are you living? How are things going, man? Like
Mm.
really showing that interest. It's amazing. The second most, um, I guess, powerful lesson that I learned is you get what you give. You really get what you give. So if I'm talking to you, Jason, and suddenly I raise my middle finger at you and start shouting and screaming and belittling you, what am I likely to get in return? You'd probably get very angry with me, start shouting at me. I'm going to get what I'm giving to you. But if I give you dignity and respect, then if I give you that I'm here to help, you're likely going to treat me in the same way. It's this approach that saved my life in the Middle East when I was about to be killed by terrorists. A terrorist saved my life. And it was because of the way in which I had treated him on an earlier occasion. And I am a believer that I am alive. I mean, I am alive here today because a terrorist saved my life. I was going to be killed. My partner and I, during the war, were going to be killed. And one man stepped in and said, not this guy. And so he let both my partner and I leave. Well, we were beaten, so we were hurt, but it wasn't because of him. He just saw it as it was happening, and he put a stop
Mm.
to it.